Susan Roesgen returns to New Orleans television.
On ABC 26 News, we've got New Orleans. An electrifying new weapon will give local officers some added punch on the streets. Is it worth the money? Plus, the candidates for governor promise to play nice, but can they stick to it? Especially after New Orleans Mayor Ray Nagin chooses sides.
From WGNO New Orleans, this is ABC 26 News.
Good evening, I'm Susan Roesgen. Sheriff Harry Lee wants to arm his Jefferson Parish deputies with another loaded weapon, but this one doesn't shoot, it zaps. It's called a taser, and ABC's 26 News reporter Glenn Boyd says the sheriff thinks it will save lives.
You don't want to be on the other end of this. 50,000 volts of electricity streaming from a taser stun gun.
I'm so impressed with the taser that I've made the decision at the convention that all patrol deputies will be armed with that particular weapon.
In other words, the taser will become standard issue with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Department. Lee just got back from a sheriff's convention out east and says he was sold there on the taser for a number of reasons. He says studies have shown injuries to suspects and officers were cut drastically when the taser is used. Also, lawsuits drop.
So the only downside is the money.
Each stun gun costs approximately $800. Lee says he will spend about $300,000 to $350,000.
Take the cartridge, you actually slide it on like this, and then it's prepared to go. You have two prongs that shoot out of here. These prongs hit you, and they'll actually go through clothing and go into your...
Lieutenant Mike Kahn is the assistant commander of NOPD's SWAT team. The department has a couple dozen of the tasers used primarily by the SWAT team. He showed us what it looks like when the two prongs hook onto subjects' clothes or skin.
All right, Frank.
The NOPD swears by the taser, calling it the best non-lethal weapon an officer can have.
This is less than lethal, absolutely. It can be used with a subject with a knife. It can be used with a subject with a gun who's not pointing it at you, as long as it's a situation which you require less than lethal force.
Lieutenant Kahn says most subjects fall to the ground when they're hit, giving the officer an opportunity to subdue them. Sheriff Lee says a taser representative could be in town as early as next week. He says it's a costly investment, but a good one.
And as expensive that is, if we save one life, whether it's a bad guy or a good guy, that's a good investment.
In Harvey, Glenn Boyd, ABC 26 News.
Both the New Orleans and Jefferson Parish SWAT teams already use tasers, and both departments want all officers to have them. Breaking news tonight from Audubon Montessori School uptown. New test results just in show high levels of lead in some spots on campus, so the school will be closed again for at least the next 2 days. The school had just reopened today after being closed Thursday and Friday to clean up the lead exposed during a renovation project. The Orleans Parish School District says several more hot spots were discovered today and more cleanup is needed. Parents who want to send their kids to school are asked to drop students off tomorrow morning at Audubon Montessori, and the children will be bused to Johnson Elementary and Walker Middle Schools and brought back to Audubon for parents to pick them up tomorrow afternoon. Also, the parent-teacher organization will meet at 6 o'clock in the school cafeteria tomorrow night. Mayor Ray Nagin is crossing party lines to endorse Republican candidate Bobby Jindal for governor. The political odd couple stood together in front of the convention center for the announcement. The mayor says Jindal is a fresh face who represents the best chance for real change in Louisiana. And he said when he talked with each candidate, Jindal offered many more specifics and seemed best for New Orleans. But the mayor admits he's sticking his neck out on this one.
I need a win, man. I'm going to be out there. What's your vote today, man? You voting for Bobby? I'm working right now.
Political analysts say the Nagin endorsement should give Jindal a boost in the New Orleans area, which is home to 1/3 of the state's voters. However, some Democratic leaders say Nagin's endorsement is not in the best interest of New Orleans. U.S. Senator Mary Landrieu is one of them. Speaking from her office on Capitol Hill today, Landrieu said Jindal and the Republican Party are on the wrong side of the debate when it comes to health care, education, and the minimum wage.
It's very disappointing, and I'm hoping that people will see through that and support the candidate they know the best and trust the most, and that's Kathleen Blanco.
I was working for New Orleans before Ray Nagin came on the scene. I will work for New Orleans whether he's there or not.
Blanco made those remarks at a campaign stop at Charity Hospital. There she was endorsed by New Orleans DA Eddie Jordan and Jefferson Parish President-elect Aaron Broussard. Can the candidates for governor finish this campaign without getting down in the mud? Both Jindal and Blanco have pledged to keep it clean, but some voters aren't so sure the candidates can do it. ABC 26 News reporter Kurt Sprang is in our newsroom. Kurt, many voters are cynical about this race.
Yeah, they sure are. They're basing their opinions on past campaigns in this state, and there have been some doozies. But the tone of the final 2 weeks may depend on polls and outside influence. At times tonight in Mandeville, the special is red beans. But with runoff time here, many voters are having a tough time swallowing any special clean campaign pledges.
Well, I don't believe it, because they say that it's been successful for those that have been negative campaigners.
It would be quite rare, but no, it's going to continue the way it has been, I think.
Close, and I respect the governor.
But there it was last night during a Louisiana public broadcasting debate. The candidates first accusing each other of running a negative campaign, especially with age-related comments.
They don't want to hear things like training wheels. They don't want to hear things like immature. They don't want to hear those kinds of words.
Come on, Bobby. Any woman who's called an old pal has got to take umbrage on that one.
In the end, both Blanco and Jindal promised to keep it clean. Louisiana voters will surely know if they keep their word. Past races like the Landrew Terrell Senate showdown sank deep into the mud.
That was a negative race.
ABC 26 political analyst Jeff Cruer says, by Louisiana standards, this race for governor has been almost squeaky clean. But if one candidate slips significantly in the polls, Cruer says, get ready for the mud to fly. Or if outside groups get involved, Cruer says the candidates don't have much control over those groups.
I don't see those ads as following any pledges that the candidates make. Those guys are going to do whatever their political advisors tell them to do, and if it's negative, they're going to go negative.
And Cruer adds negative campaigns are a double-edged sword. The allegations could stick, they could backfire. But Cruer says one negative effect of a clean campaign, often fewer voters are motivated to go to the polls. Live in the newsroom, Kurt Sprang, ABC 26 News.
All right, Kurt, we'll see what happens. Jeff Cruer also says fewer outside groups will get involved in the Louisiana governor's race because it only has statewide implications, really, as opposed to the recent Senate race with some national implications. Now, our issue a day in the race for governor. Between now and Election Day, ABC 26 News is bringing you the candidates' views on the major issues. ABC 26 News anchor Liz Reyes has our latest report.
Thanks, Susan. You know, one issue this election year is a highway expansion plan. Interstate 49 is eventually supposed to take you from Shreveport to New Orleans. Right now, though, it stops in Lafayette. So we asked Bobby Jindal and Kathleen Blanco where would they get the money to complete I-49.
But we can bond some of our federal revenue stream as soon as Congress passes the 6-year transportation plan or renews it as they normally do. Right now they have not, and it looks like they may just finance one more year. But as soon as they pass that 6-year package, then we can actually bond out money that we know we can reasonably expect and be able to pay it out.
My commitment as governor is this. We will set as a priority within our state transportation budget, we will prioritize completion of I-49. We will match whatever federal dollars are available, and we'll make sure we're not leaving any federal dollars on the table. The real opportunity to finish that project, it must be a priority not only for our state but for our country, because that really will be an important connector, connecting the Port of New Orleans with states all the way up the Mississippi River.
Tomorrow, the candidates talk about tax reform. We've got New Orleans' most in-depth coverage of the governor's race and issue a day continuing weeknights for the next 2 weeks on ABC 26 News at 5 and 10. Susan?
All right, Liz. You know, the runoff isn't until next weekend, but you can vote right now if you voting absentee. If you plan to be out of town on the November 15th election weekend or won't be able to get to the polls, you have until this coming Saturday to cast your ballot. And these folks were doing just that as absentee voting got started today. You can vote absentee at your parish registrar of voters office. They're open between 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. through Friday and 8:30 a.m. to noon on Saturday. You need to bring a photo ID. Neighbors cheered St. Bernard deputies tonight when they hauled a burglary suspect out of an East Judge Perez drugstore. They got the call of a break-in around 9 o'clock tonight, and when they got to St. Bernard Drugs number 2, The suspect stuck his head out the door, that's the neighbors cheering, and then darted back in. The SWAT team searched inside and found the suspect hiding in a ceiling. That's when they made their arrest. New Orleans police say the suspect in the city's latest murder got away on a bicycle. The shooting happened around 5 o'clock in the Bywater on Desire Street near North Rampart. Police say the victim and the suspect were apparently arguing. They think the gunman lives in the neighborhood. New Orleans police are investigating a report of a sexual assault at a Livingston middle school. The police tell us a 12-year-old girl who attends the school on Dwyer Road says it happened Friday. She says she tried to run away from 2 other students who were teasing her, and she says these 2 boys chased her behind the gym where one of them held her down while the other attacked her. The boys are 13 and 15. They are both under arrest on sexual battery charges. 4 people are dead tonight from a pileup involving 2 tractor trailers on the I-10. It happened this afternoon in the Lafayette Parish town of Rain. Police say a pickup truck and a car crossed the median and swerved into oncoming traffic. No one in the car was hurt, but the pickup slammed into 2 18-wheelers. The victims haven't yet been identified. The police say they don't know why the driver of the pickup lost control. Well, better check the calendar. Is it really the beginning of November? Doesn't feel like it. We've got New Orleans exclusive live quickcast now with Chief Meteorologist Bruce Katz.
That's right, Susan. Today we tied a record high, getting up to 85 degrees. So, yep, the calendar does say November, but it feels more like early September. Now, here's a look at the morning. At 7 o'clock, temp in the mid to upper 60s. But then by the afternoon through the evening, rain chances come in at 20 to 30%. Tomorrow back to near 84 degrees. And what we're watching is a disturbance in the Gulf of Mexico as of right now. Not doing too much, but it is heading toward New Orleans. I'll let you know how that will affect your weather. All that and more coming up. Stay with us until 11:56.
The lawyer who dodged bullets in a fight for his life outside an LA courthouse is home now from the hospital, and you'll hear his amazing story of survival. And President Bush speaks out about keeping American troops in Iraq one day after a very deadly day for our soldiers. Plus, check out the new flight from New Orleans that'll get you to New England faster. New Orleans in a minute, and more news ahead on ABC 26 News.
From birthday bones to canine happy hours, the good life has gone to the dogs.
Whatever is in fashion for people eventually comes out for the dog.
Find out the coolest way to pamper your pet, Tuesday at 10 on ABC 26 News.
It's Bad Boys Week on Everybody Loves Raymond. Does Deborah have Ray on a short leash?
So you just want to make more decisions?
That's all I'm saying.
No.
On the next Everybody Loves Raymond.
Tomorrow at 6:30 on ABC 26.
If this was a complex medical problem, then this would be us. Expert medical care from the minds that heal. Tulane University Hospital and Clinic. At the Tulane Center for Minimally Invasive Surgery, we're reducing recovery times for our patients by reducing the size of the incisions to less than 1 inch. Advanced surgical care from the minds that heal. Tulane University Hospital and Clinic.
Hello, I'm Senator John Breaux. One thing people hate about politics is the negative personal attacks. This time, the victim is Kathleen Blanco, one of our most respected and decent public servants. They're going to continue to smear her, twist and distort the truth, and deceive our voters. But I don't believe that they'll succeed, because we're smarter than that. The people of Louisiana know better. Please say no to negative politics and show your support for Kathleen Babineau Blanco, a governor we can trust.
Guys, in today's meeting, we'd like to wish Frank good luck in his retirement.
Wait, if Frank retires, who's going to keep up Cotman's high standard of repairs at his shop?
His sons, Randy and Rusty. What's Frank going to do in his retirement?
What else? Going after Mr. Bullred with his new line of fishing lures, the Furious Frank.
That lure looks like Frank.
And it's wearing glasses.
Yes, so he can find Mr. Bullred.
Cotman Transmission. Expect the best. You deserve it.
Simple, really. If we could get everybody in the country to drive the all-new Chevy Malibu, we think you'd agree. It's just about perfect.
The lucky lawyer shot 5 times at point-blank range who lived to tell about it is now talking about it. The shooting caught on tape happened outside a California courthouse Friday. William Stryer, the suspected gunman, was upset after being denied money from a legal settlement. The victim, 53-year-old Jerry Curry, was the opposing lawyer in the case, and Curry says he never even met the gunman before he was shot.
I got 5 bullet holes in my left arm, but it feels pretty good. I got shot in the neck, and that bullet is still in the back of my neck now. It's swollen, but that's pretty good. And I got shot at this arm here, and the bullet went up to the back of the arm. The kind of law that I practice, it's unusual to have this kind of thing happen. So I was just unlucky, I guess. But I was very lucky to live, and I'm grateful for that.
Very lucky indeed. At the time of the shooting, cameras were at the courthouse to cover a hearing in actor Robert Blake's murder case, and they caught this instead. The suspected gunman, William Stryer, is being held on $1 million bond. In Iraq today, 1 American soldier was killed and another wounded when a homemade bomb exploded near Tikrit. The latest casualties come just 1 day after that Chinook helicopter was shot down, killing 16 soldiers and wounding 20. While most of the wounded are being treated at a military hospital in Germany, President Bush, speaking in Birmingham, Alabama, vows to continue the mission in Iraq.
Collection of killers is trying to shake the will of America. We will not be intimidated.
American troops are now trying to find hundreds of shoulder-fired missiles in Iraq, like the one that brought down that chopper.
ABC 26 weather with Chief Meteorologist Bruce Katz.
Well, today we tied a record high. Didn't break it. We were pretty close to that, but we got up to 85 degrees, believe it or not, at the airport in Kenner. Haven't been that warm on this date since 1946. And off to the north, that's where the cold air is. But unfortunately, that cold air is shifting more east than south. So we've got a stationary front. We've got a big ridge of high pressure to the west, another one to the east. On the backside of that, that's what's bringing the warm air. And also, notice we have from high to low pressure. Indeed, we have a low in the Gulf right now continuing to move to the west-northwest at about 20 miles per hour. As of right now, not expecting much of a major problem with it. Just some gusty winds on and off. And also, we may see a few more clouds and a couple of widely scattered showers, but that's pretty much it. So here it is on the map. You'll notice again, here's a swirl, the actual center just about right here, and it continues to move off to the northwest. And as it does, most of the activity continues to be down to the south. So you'll notice the big rains will be in the Gulf of Mexico. So any rain that we see moving inland will be few and far between. Tomorrow, keep the umbrella nearby to be safe. But if you do forget it, chances are you may be A-OK because, again, rain chances just not that high with that system. Look at the temperatures to the north and west. Look at Bismarck right now, 18 degrees. That's not even a wind chill factor. 33 Salt Lake, Denver 34, 39 degrees up in Omaha. But you look just to the south of the front, how about Oklahoma City at 70, 72 in Dallas while we're in the mid-60s. So as you can see, the warm air continues to hold in. And as we take a look at the satellite picture, you'll notice here's that ridge of high pressure all wrapping around it. The warm, moist air comes out of the Gulf. And here's that stationary front, the line, putting on the brakes right around the Texas-Oklahoma panhandle. So it looks like we're not going to see much of a break of the heat and humidity up until about Friday. It looks like the front may begin to move in, but the problem is we're not going to get that much colder, maybe 4 to 5 degrees. That's pretty much it. So as the front moves in, we'll get a little bit of a break to pretty much where we should be for this time of year. Today, 85. We should be at 75, so a good 10 degrees above that. Temperatures to the north in the 50s and 60s. Around here, we're in the lower 60s. And let's take a look outside right now. Courtesy of Metrocam 26. Clear and pleasant. 65 at Audubon, Kenner at 64. How about the upper 50s in Slidell? Dew point 61, humidity 90%. Pressure on the fall with the west wind blowing now at about 3. So temperature-wise around the area today, check it out. Again, we tied that record, 85 degrees at the airport in Kenner. Everybody else into the 80s with the exception 91 today in Hammond. So again, very warm conditions hold in. And here it is on the regional shot. You'll notice, again, here is that upper level low in the Gulf of Mexico. High pressure to the east of us, bringing in all the warm, moist air. So the warm weather tomorrow is with us, highs back to the 80s. And again, whatever sunshine there is should be farther north and west as some of the clouds begin to move in with this upcoming system. So here's your 48-hour forecast. Watching the low right along the mouth of the river, 20 to 30% chance of just widely scattered showers. And as we approach late Tuesday into Wednesday, the low dissipates. We'll get a little sunshine coming back in. Late Thursday and Friday, here it is, the front moving on through the way it looks now. cooling us down as we approach the end of the week and the weekend. For tonight, should be pleasant, 55 to 60 north, mid-60s south. For the morning drive and bus stop time, 60 to 65, partly sunny skies, and by the midday, spotty showers with that system. Still warm, 81 to 86. And how about your ABC 26 7-day forecast? Finally, we get into the 70s come late Thursday and Friday. Overnight lows falling back to the 50s. So it looks like we're going to have to watch out for the next day or so for the warm stuff. But Susan, I think finally we'll feel more like fall the end of the week and the weekend, which would be good.
All right, we can make it till then.
A big welcome to you, too, to the ABC 26 News team.
I'm so glad to be here.
All right.
Thank you. Well, a new reason to take off for New England, and a hometown business marks a milestone. We've got New Orleans in a minute. The Algiers Brass Band livened up the airport today at Concourse C. It was a celebration of the start of non-stop American Airlines service between New Orleans and Boston. And another celebration is unfolding in Metairie. Patio Drugs is celebrating its 45th anniversary all week. If you stop by, you can get free health screenings, free food, and door prizes. And that's tonight's New Orleans in a minute. How did the Saints win 3 in a row against the Super Bowl champs? Sports director Ed Daniels breaks it down next in ABC 26 Sports.
ABC 26 Weather brought to you by LIS.
LAS offers the best in storm and security protection in the business, period.
It's the final summer sale down at North Shore Toyota, I-12, 190 in Covington. Lease this 04 Corolla for $179 a month, or get $1,000 cash back on Toyota Camry, or get 0% APR financing. And come check out the all-new 04 Toyota Solara. It's all new from the ground up. We've got a great selection for you to choose from. Come on out to North Shore Toyota and experience the North Shore Toyota difference. I-12 190 in Covington, next door to Piccadilly.
Do you have diabetes and or high blood pressure? Yes, then you may be at risk for kidney disease. Let us evaluate you for qualification for one of our research studies of an investigational medication. Call or visit Melissa at Clinical Research Center, MDS Pharma Services. Call 504-826-5020. Clinical Research Center, improving life through research. Compensation offered for your time and participation. Other restrictions may apply.
Joe, it's all new. It's the perfect size. It's got a smooth ride, a DVD, heated seat.
Liz, comfort can't tow a boat. This is all new, too. And it's the perfect size. And it's the only SUV with the Hemi.
Look, I've done my research.
I've done my research.
The all-new Dodge Durango. Big size, smooth ride, Hemi power. Starting under $26,600.
I was hurt.
My car wreck put me out of work.
A reckless 18-wheeler on the highway. I needed a high-powered attorney.
When it's the big insurance company against you or your family,
experience is key.
My commitment to protecting the people of Louisiana began over 20 years ago. Since then, my law firm has helped thousands of car wreck victims, just like you.
We had to have someone who would go the distance.
A fighter.
A winner.
Integrity, trust, honesty. Protecting the people of Louisiana for over 20 years.
Let my legal team help you.
ABC 26 Sports with sports director Ed Daniels.
The Hornets won't go unbeaten tonight in Atlanta. The 3-0 Hornets never lead against the 0-3 Hawks. An announced crowd of 5,300 watching the Hawks own the offensive glass. Dion Glover with one of 18 offensive rebounds for the home team. Atlanta up 15. Play of the night, alley-oop to the Tractor. He had 20, Wesley 19, Davis 13. Hornets cut it to 2 in the fourth, but George Lynch couldn't get around the pick. Steven Jackson made him pay with a 3. Hawks win by 10, 90-80. Jamal Mashburn had surgery today. He'll be out 6 to 8 weeks. Baron Davis named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. The Saints began the bye week by saying goodbye to defensive tackle Grady Jackson. The Saints cut Jackson this afternoon. He was suspended for the Tampa game for not reporting to the team hotel Saturday night before the Carolina game.
We just felt that Grady, for our situation right now, is probably not the best situation, especially with the, all the young guys we have at the defensive line. I think they're really coming along and playing well, and he really probably is not the best fit for us right now.
Jackson's contract is guaranteed. If no one picks him up, the Saints pay Grady Jackson $470,000 the rest of the year to be unemployed. LSU needs help to get into the national title picture. They are 7th in the BCS. Oklahoma, a clear-cut number 1. LSU's strength of schedule hurts, 20th out of the 25 ranked BCS teams. Yesterday's 17-14 win was the Saints' 3rd straight over the Bucs. Coincidence? Not if you look up front, as we do in tonight's breakdown.
With an injured Dante Stallworth watching, Michael Lewis made a case for much more playing time at wide receiver. On Lewis's 38-yard touchdown reception, the Saints caught the Bucs in the wrong defense. Linebacker Shelton Quarles had Lewis, a 4-2-40 man-to-man down the middle. It may have been the easiest touchdown the Saints score all season. On the drive that led to John Carney's field goal, Lewis turned this catch into a 17-yard gain. There's a reason why John Gruden and the Bucs have been reluctant to give defensive tackle Warren Sapp a new contract. Watch Sapp get moved big time here. First by left guard Kendall Jaycox, and then by left tackle Wayne Gandy. Deuce McAllister off and running for 37 yards. Sapp had no sacks and 2 tackles in the game, and was a non-factor. The Bucs really miss running back Mike Allstott. Here, Michael Pittman's job is to pick up a blitzing backer, but he totally missed number 54, Darren Smith, who looped around the left side and sacked Brad Johnson. On the Allstott specialty, the screen pass, Pittman had a wall of blockers. If he reads the play correctly, he cuts right for a big gain, but he stays left, making a big mistake. So why have the Saints defeated the Bucs 3 straight times? How about the deuce factor? Season opener last year, Saints win 26-20. Deuce runs 31 times for 109 yards. In a 23-20 win, Deuce ran 27 times for 99 yards. And Sunday, the Saints win as Deuce rushes 26 times for 110 yards. Total in 3 wins, 84 carries for Deuce for 316 yards. And here's a Deuce run that won't make the highlight reels, except on breakdown. 2002 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Derek Brooks has a clean shot, but Deuce fakes out Brooks, turning a loss into a gain. So on Monday, the coach of the Super Bowl champs finds his team only 1/2 game ahead of the New Orleans Saints.
Life in the NFL, it is crazy.
I think the coach should show his players your breakdown. That's pretty cool.
Okay, good. Maybe I'll get into coaching.
Maybe
You never know.
All right. Mamma mia, now that's a big pizza. Find out how long this masterpiece stretches, plus your lucky lottery numbers when ABC 26 News continues.
Now, the fastest growing home improvement center is opening in your neighborhood. Lowe's has more brand names in stock at the lowest possible price. From appliances to flooring, lumber to windows, kitchen cabinets to paint. Our experts will make sure you get exactly what you need. And Lowe's has low prices every day, guaranteed. That's our promise. Lowe's, improving home improvement. Use your Lowe's card and pay nothing for 6 months on purchases of $299 or more.
Guys, in today's meeting, we'd like to wish Frank good luck in his retirement.
Wait, if Frank retires, who's going to keep up Cotman's high standard of repairs at his shop?
His sons, Randy and Rusty. What's Frank going to do in his retirement? What else? Going after Mr. Bullred with his new line of fishing lures, the Furious Frank. That lure looks like Frank.
And it's wearing glasses.
Yes, so he can find Mr. Bullred.
Codman Transmission. Expect the best. You deserve it.
Try as they might to give you everything, some companies still only offer half of what you need. Only we bring you exactly what you need at new lower prices you're gonna like. Bell South answers. You can even save up to $350 a year because we have more ways to bundle unlimited long distance and local with everything else on one bill. Oh, and those guys that only offer you half, it doesn't apply to the price. Bell South. Listening, answering.
There are big choices the Saints make on the field, and at Popeyes, there's an even bigger choice you can make with them. Get 3 tender pieces of chicken or 3 freshly prepared chicken strips and a biscuit for only $2.99. Yes, only $2.99. Or choose 10 pieces or strips with 5 biscuits for only $9.99. Get in on the big choice now. Chicken or chicken strips in classic mild or spicy from Popeyes, the official chicken of the New Orleans Saints.
Serve that
chicken from Popeyes.
Look, free airfare from Gulf Coast Bank and Trust.
Free airfare? Pigs will fly before banks give that away.
Miss, out there.
Oh, pigs again. That's Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, where you get free airfare on debit card charges, credit cards, and loan balances. Pretty amazing, isn't it?
It sure is.
Switch today and earn free airfare only from Gulf Coast Bank and Trust.
The 265 horsepower Nissan Maxima.
You're watching ABC 26 News, and here are tonight's lucky numbers.
Finally tonight, you'll need lots of extra pepperoni for this one. This giant pizza in Israel broke a world record, making it the longest pizza ever made. Israeli chefs put their skills to the test, cooking the pizza in a portable oven and using a blowtorch to crisp the topping. The pizza grew until it reached an amazing 328 feet. But it didn't last long. You don't just admire a pizza that huge. Sooner or later, you gotta dig in. I think it's time, guys, for a frozen pizza.
I think so. At this hour, you're right.
That's right. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.